Back at it out here in the shop again tonight. The missus had to work evenings tonight, so I figured I'd come out here and get some more stuff done on the Blazer. If you guys missed our last live feed that we did Saturday night, which was kind of a long one, but we had a good time. We ended up getting all the brakes on, brake pads, calipers, lines are all hooked up. The big tires are all on here. Kind of walk around. I got the tailgate down, trying to look at where they got the parachute mount coming out and seeing what would have to be done to make that operational. We'd probably have to notch out the tailgate in this area and bring it through. So I'd still like to be able to drop the tailgate to get to the fuel, you know, to put fuel in the truck. I'd like the tailgate to be operational, but I'm just going through and checking that kind of stuff out. Move this out of the way. Kind of dark on this side, but they are on, which is awesome. But yeah, we did. I had Terrence run a live feed for me while I was working on the Blazer live Saturday night, and I ended up chopping them ears off on the brake caliper brackets and grinding them smooth and putting a flap disc on them, making them real nice, and they went right on. Imagine that, huh? And I ended up jacking up the coil springs. We already know that the coil springs are, the coil overs, I should say, are too short for the back of the Blazer. So what I did, I just ended up jacking up the springs all the way to the top position, which gave me another couple inches. So, I mean, if we sit back here and kind of look, I mean, it's on the caster still, but I had to slide it away from the wall in the front. But man, she looks good. It might be a little high in the front yet, which ain't no real big deal. So I thought about, instead of worrying about the back, you know, I am going to have, with the coil springs maxed out, you know, fully adjusted tight, there's going to be no suspension in the back at all. It's going to be just like rock hard. So we're going to have to address that for sure. But for now, I mean, I could actually still put my spanner wrenches on here and lower the front down, you know, another inch to make it look right. But I think with the front clip on it, it's going to help set that down even a little bit more. And we're going to get a measurement when it goes back down to Jason. But we're real close. I mean, the front brakes are on, rotors, calipers, pads. The rear brakes are complete now. So all we got to do is run the hard lines from the Willwood dual master cylinder setup inside, run it into the line lock, and then run the lines to the back, and then lines up for the front, and then the brake should be done. But today, I'm going to tackle switching the heads out. I'm going to take the cast iron heads back off and put the darts on there, and that way we know exact header location due to the raised exhaust runner on them dart heads. But I had to clean up a little bit, put all my tools away from the last project and get some stuff swept up in here so I can work. So, but that's what we're going to be doing today, guys. We're going to be doing some more work on the Blazer, but we're going to focus on getting the heads mounted and or bolted up, just snugged up. They're not going to be torqued because, like I said before, once it comes back from Jason, the engine's coming back out, getting on the engine stand, and I'm blowing it apart. And then we're going to start ordering parts. And so, I mean, that's a big thing, getting the headers built, determining what length coilovers I'm going to need in the back. He's going to go through the suspension one more time, make sure everything's square, everything's tight, give everything good a once over, and this should be ready to rock and roll. But I'm going to get you guys on the tripod. I'm going to get my table set up front here, and let's tear into this thing. tighter than I thought. Now, one thing nice, you can still get to all the bolts within the chassis. Damn. These are some heavy mofos, let me tell you what. I actually wish I had a scale to put these on just to see. This setup here, you don't have to take the, some of them you got to take the stud or the guide plates off to get to the bolts. I know they were on them heads that we put on Jay's 468. I actually had to take the guide plates off on a couple of them to get to the bolts. But on this setup here, on the stock setup, It seems to be clearing just fine, which is nice. These are ARP bolts. So when I go to put everything back together, I'll make sure wire wheel clean them all. And then I got some ARP lube. And then you always want to make sure you use a Teflon sealer on the threads on a big block Chevy, small block too. Obviously, we ain't got to worry about that right now, due to the fact I'm just snugging them up. And I'm probably going to be changing the thickness of the head gasket also. So, I ain't got to worry about, I mean, I'll still clean them up on the wire wheel before I stick them back in right now with the darts, just so there's no chance of cross-threading. And on the washers on your ARP bolts, if you buy an ARP bolt kit, there is a certain way the washer has to go on. Which, when we get into the engine build on this, we're going to go over all that. Alright, time to break my back one more time. Oh my God. Whew. There she be. Yeah, for everybody that was worried about the engine not being sealed up, because the way I had the intake and none of the exhaust ports or intake ports were taped up, the valves are all closed. I had no rockers, no push rods, so none of the valves were open. I had a sheet down in the intake valley here so nothing could get down in it, which I'm probably going to dump some oil through there again since I got everything apart. Everything looks perfect besides the shit cam that's in here, a Howard's hydraulic roller with a couple big nicks. Still got oil in the cylinders from before. Beautiful. Alright, I'm gonna get some stuff cleaned up and I'll bring you guys right back. Alright, well, I'm just going to oil everything all back up since I got it apart, like I said. Obviously, we ain't got to worry about that junk ass cam that's in it. But good to go. All right, well, I'm probably going to put you guys on a time lapse and get these set on, and we'll bring you we'll bring you back after, and we'll talk about them. And only issue that I'm having is I hope that this clears the firewall. Where the mid plate is and the firewall comes down, it looks pretty tight right there. So hopefully that clears. But I guess we're going to find out here soon. I got to run and put all these bolts through the wire wheel real quick and then get them lubed up. Bolted up as much as we could. We ran into some more issues bolting the heads up, which when we get up to the front of the truck, I'll show you that. But I have a subscriber named Kevin. He's looking for some big block parts. I have an extra crankshaft down there, a decent size hydraulic flat tappet, electric water pump, a big boy camshaft hydraulic, I think that's a 302-680 hydraulic flat tappet, big block cam. All up in this mess in here, I got push rods, springs, lifters, all that good stuff. Back here in my wood shed, sorry about the fan noise, but I got a set of pistons and rods. So he's looking for some big block parts, plus the cast iron head that I took off. But the issue that we were having on here is that as you can see, I still got quite a bit of bolts left over, head bolts, after I got them all cleaned up. Well, with the exhaust raise runner on the Dart 360, let me see, 8 of them are too short, 4 on each side. The other ones will work, but I have to remove the stud girdle, and on these aluminum heads I'd have to remove the push rod guide plates. So I just said hell with it. I just did the corners and the ones I could get to through the intake or the lifter valley, and all the bottom ones, and just secured them, because like I said before, once this comes back from Jason, I'm blowing it apart. So we're gonna have to order a set of head bolts for a Dart 360, which I might just go with a set of head studs. I got head studs on the El Camino, so I mean, they're not much more money and they're a lot more reliable on the clamping force. for head studs. But these are the other heads, the cast iron heads. They are a passenger oval port head. I think they're early 70s to mid 70s. So there you go, Kevin. That's part of the deal also if you're interested. But we got everything on here, and I wiped everything up, and I figured I'd give you guys a look to see what, obviously without headers, spark plug wires, all the accessories. I need a different intake, but bam! That thing just looks nasty. That is an awesome setup. I mean, the headers, I don't know if I'm going to have the headers come back and then out here through the fender. I'm thinking that's probably what I'm going to do. I want it to be easy access to my spark plugs. I did put plugs in it. I do got to go ahead and tape off the exhaust ports and tape off the intake ports before it goes to Jason. But I just wanted to set everything on here. There's the old Dominator. I think it looks killer. Hell yeah, brother. Obviously this steering or gas pedal shaft or rod in here. I don't see how well you guys can see in here, but it takes this rod. So we're going to have to get a rod built for it to run out to that Dominator. There's the pedal setup. The old removable old school Grant GT. Got the Kirky racing seat in it. The big boy seat. Not the little baby Graco seat like it's in Ty's Monty. But yeah, she's pretty much ready to go down there. A little rear view shot here. The old fuel cell trap door. We can add fuel right there. Hell yeah. I think it just looks awesome with the big tires on it. We're getting close. We're getting close to getting this thing figured out. But yeah, after it comes back with the headers built, that's going to be a major part, and the drains on the back of the heads. I don't know why you guys can see that in there, but they fit. They fit perfect back there. Lots of room. So I'm going to have to run a, looks like a 10 line down and get the oil pan, a 10 bung welded into the oil pan, and I'm actually going to use that setup. Big block Chevys had tendencies for oiling issues, and that setup right there helps get the oil from the top end back down to the pan real fast. Oh, and also gonna throw in these sheet metal valve covers if he's interested. But yeah, guys, there she is. One big block Chevy in the Blazer. Carburetor sits nice. We could probably still use the flat hood, but I'm going to put a fiberglass hood on it. And I don't know if I'm going to go with a Sunoco hood scoop or what, but yet to be determined. We'll get when we get there, we'll cross that bridge, and we'll figure that out once we get there. But yeah, guys. Besides waiting for the boy, I'm going to have to give the boy a call and have him come over and help me get the front clip set back on it, and tape up the intake ports and the exhaust ports. And she's ready to ship back down to him, let him have his way with what he's got to do, get everything finalized. That's when we get it back. We can really start pushing forward on this, getting the parts ordered for the engine. see what length coilovers I gotta buy, see if I can find a decent set of, decent price set that's gonna work. Single adjustables will be fine. And we'll be ready to rock and roll, start wiring this thing. But this video is getting pretty long, guys. I just figured I'd do a quick video with you on getting the heads all bolted up. Give you one last different angle here. That thing just looks killer. I mean, yeah, buddy. Can't wait to hear this thing run. I can't wait to drive it. But there you go. So, as usual, I really appreciate everybody for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, and we'll catch you guys on the next video. All right. Bye-bye.